defensively and communication-wise. Do you feel that's been the case with you guys in your defensive struggles?
I would say at Spurs, yeah. And sometimes we just gotta get past the fact that teams are making shots. We can't just keep saying, "Oh, they're making shots." We gotta try to put a stop to it, and that was the case tonight. They had guys who wouldn't really shoot that well, but because of the occasion and everything, they shot the lights out. So just trying to put a stop to that is gonna help us in the long run.
I know you don't want to use it as an excuse, but how is this team different when you don't have a healthy Butler out there as the head of that defense?
Yeah, I mean, Lamont's, we all know how he is and how quick he's able to push the ball, but with guards who are getting pressured, I feel like it's slower, bring it up the court. And we try to love the tempo, but it's just tough at times. But, we miss him and hopefully he's going to be back soon.
That's obviously it's just another game.
Amari, man, you bring the ball up court a lot. Is there something that you're able to kind of identify with the way that you guys are bringing the ball up the court, kind of running the offense through you? Do you think there's anything that you can improve on? Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with how it's kind of running the offense, but is there anything you feel like you can improve on as a player, kind of bringing the ball up the court? It seems like, you get kind of you get down the court, man, and then it kind of gets to a point where it kind of stops up a little bit. Is there any way that you could maybe kind of identify some things or something we could?
Just to try to keep the offense flowing, seeing guys overcutting and things like that and just taking care of the ball. I feel like that's something I'm trying to do every game throughout the whole season. It's just taking care of the ball. So I feel like that's the main focus.
Definitely awesome. And is that something that essentially like you guys work on through practices, taking care of the ball? I know the turnovers have kind of killed the game a little bit, killed the offense, but what's the best way to kind of bounce back and, go into the next game like Ole Miss and be able to take care of the ball properly to get
like you said, just taking care of it, whether it's our passes, dribbling, or even setting screens, like moving screens. But I feel like that's ultimately lost us a few games. We lost these games against Georgia, especially against Vandy when we had, I think, 12 more turnovers than they did, and then we lost by 5. So it's a difference maker. We know that, and we're still trying to improve on that. So.
Thanks, man.
How do you assess where this team is at when you can beat a Tennessee but lose at home to in Arkansas?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just lapses. Something we got to try to get a hold of, especially coming towards the end of the season. And that's what I got to say really about that. I don't really have much on that. So.
Amari, you guys have had to bounce back all season from some tough losses, but then you guys have had some very intriguing wins. How do you feel like this team will respond? Because Coach Pope said you guys were pretty down in the locker room after the game.
Yeah, we always respond well, but I feel like we said as a team, it's got to be to a point where we start responding, where it's just something we know we got to do, and we just come out here and get the job done. So
important is it for you guys to get as healthy as possible. Andrew limited, Lamont out, Kerr's been out for a while.
And it's always important to have a full healthy roster. I feel like that's something we want and something we're gonna try and improve on, especially going into the tournament and the SEC tournament. So, again, Andrew back and Lamont back is going to be big for us, and it will turn out well. So.
How does this loss feel different than the others? Because a lot of fans were really, looking forward to this game probably more than a lot of the others.
I mean, I feel like it stings a little bit more just because we've dropped games against teams we should have won. This is the third time we should have beat Georgia, should have beat Vandy, and it's just. It's just tough losing to teams like this when we know what kind of team you are and, what the national, media thinks you are too. So it's just dropping games like this is always a little bit more than a game like Bama or something like that. So.
It seems like with Lamont out, especially if he's out for an extended period of time, it changes Jackson's role. Does it change your role? Because you kind of a point center too. I mean, does it change what you?
Lamont always gives me, the encouragement to push the ball if I'm able to do it. So in that sense, no, but it's just, I'm not able to, I would have to set a screen in the backcourt or something like that. But at the same time, I feel like the guards are doing well. Travis and Jackson are doing a tremendous job bringing the ball up the court and protecting it with all the pressure that's happening. So I don't feel like it's much of a difference. The guys are still able to bring the ball up the court and get into the offense. So that's what I got to say on that.
There was a lot of talk in this game of people anticipating whether or not John Calipari was going to get booed when he came out, what was going to happen. I'm sure you guys heard all that talk. Did it feel different to you when they announced Coach Pope and the place just kind of exploded? Did that hit different?
I feel like they've always been that way when Coach Pope gets announced, and seeing I feel like the only distraction probably was seeing all the cameras on court when we're trying to do layup lines. That was a bit annoying. But other than that, I feel like as a team, it was locked in and ready to go for the game. And that showed in the first, 5 to 6 minutes when we went on the run. But it's just kind of faded out. That's something we got to keep on ourselves about, just keeping the momentum going, even when things ain't going our way. So.
Were their players more chatty? Because it wasn't just Calipari. They had players who were here as well. Were they maybe talk more than you maybe see during the course?
To be honest, the guys who were on the roster last year, none of them really said anything. I feel like all of them are great guys. Big Z was a great, he's a great guy. He was speaking on court, but not in like a trash talking type of way. He was just asking how it is over here and stuff. But it was great, playing against those guys and seeing what they're doing. So yeah.
Amari, I know you do your best to filter out distractions, but was it kind of impossible not to hear some of this stuff heading into this game, considering all the hype that was going into it?
I mean, we definitely heard about it before the game even started. We're in the locker room trying to, just relax and trying to watch the rest of the games, and that's all that's coming up on ESPN. But I don't feel like that flowed into the game, and it's just something that just went their way today. So
It was noticeable though that there were more cameras and more people around.
For sure. Like I said, the layup lines, we're trying to do layup lines, and it's taking up the whole sideline. So we noticed that, didn't really pay much attention to it, especially when the game started and things. But yeah, it was something we wasn't really focused on. So.
Amari, I think it was the very first basket that you scored against Big Z. I think it was one where you basically just backed him down, and did you joke? It seemed like he was trying to get a charge on you.
Yeah, I feel like that's what he was trying to do, because he was a lot better on the other attempts. But that's something what I feel like a lot of bigs are doing around the league, not just the SEC, but just around college basketball. And it wasn't cool. So that's all I got to say on it.
Thank you, Ed.
No problem.
All right. How do you guys bounce back, man?
The same way we always have. I feel like that's something we've been great at as a team, always bouncing back. So hopefully, we come back to Lexington with a win on Tuesday.
How do you assess how you played today, tonight?
I was more aggressive on the boards as well, just, trying to do all the little things in the game. Still want to take care of the ball better than I have in previous games, but, that's something that's just always going to happen. But I'll say personally, I did well, and hopefully, I keep playing this aggressive and help my team win in the next game.
Coach Pope talked about how, you guys were down in the locker room. Were you more down than in any of the other losses? How was this different, I guess?
Yeah, we was down the Georgia game, down the Vandy game. We're always down after games like that because we really know that we're the bad team and we should have won, and it just wasn't our night. But we got to try to eliminate the fact that we have games where we're not shooting well or something like that, and it's not our night. We just played tougher than them, and that's ultimately going to get us the win. But this one didn't feel any different to the other games as much as they keep stacking. It's just, something we got to try to get a hold of.
All right. Good luck on the next game, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.